I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Welcome to Stop Drinking Alcohol 82, Drinking Choices. I'm just back from a great holiday with my son and his girlfriend. I just can't believe how quickly he's growing up. I hope you're good and you're getting the most out of life and your new alcohol-free journey. This week I have a couple of sections. The first part is about alcohol withdrawal treatment and do you need it? And the second video is about one of the greatest benefits of quitting drinking that I know, which is you'll make better choices. First up, alcohol withdrawal treatment. Do you need it? Now, I've written a few articles about alcohol withdrawal in the past. I've done a few videos. And for the most part, I think I've managed to sort of get my message across. And that is that drinking is a habit, and the vast majority of people with this alcohol drinking habit stop drinking on their own. So the likelihood is that you can quit drinking on your own as well. I get some criticism for saying a lot of this stuff by people who have quit drinking and they've gone through a bad time, or people who are just worried about me sending out the wrong types of message that quitting alcohol is never dangerous. Now, I'm not out to court criticism in any fashion, but this is a subject that I'm going to continue to revisit again and again because of just the huge amount of disinformation that's out there about alcohol withdrawal and whether or not you need to get treatment, whether you need alcohol withdrawal treatment. Now, to begin with, I'm not a doctor. I keep saying that this video is not medical advice, so it shouldn't be viewed as a replacement for being careful and paying a visit to your doctor. I just want to help you to keep an open mind to the fact that you can affect your experiences in the first few days and weeks of your journey by how you think about quitting drinking and the types of feelings that you can expect. Whether those feelings are physical or psychological once you do stop. So with that in mind, do some people need treatment for alcohol withdrawal? And the answer is most definitely yes. Make no mistake that some people have created just so much damage and destruction within their bodies that it's just too dangerous to quit without specialist medical help. And no amount of positive mental attitude, no amount of changing the ways that you're thinking, altering the words that you use, is going to alter or overcome any of the serious physical damage that you might have already caused to yourself by all the years that you've been drinking. But the point is that stopping a habit is not where you need the medical attention. It's not a medical condition, so why do you need medical attention? You know, much as some people would like to have you believe, the part where you need the medical treatment is not because you now want to quit drinking, it's because of the damage that alcohol has already caused. You know, if you damage your liver, a damaged liver is a damaged liver. It can be caused through using drugs, drinking too much alcohol, eating the wrong types of food. It can be caused by diseases like hepatitis or hemochromatosis, and you know, these are all conditions that you know, you go to the doctor and you say, look, I've got he tests it and says you've got a damaged liver. In the same light, a broken leg is a broken leg. It doesn't matter if the leg has been broken by a skiing accident or a car crash. It has to be treated like any other broken leg. Now, both the damaged liver and the broken leg are medical conditions. You know, the doctor can't prevent you from going back out and breaking your leg again. You know, to do that you need to get skiing lessons, or you need to learn how to take care of a car better. You know, you have to, you know, if you're lucky to get treatment for your liver, then the doctor can't prevent you from going out and drinking more alcohol. All you can do is give you advice. You have to go out and you have to change your lifestyle, your habits, and it's got nothing to do with medicine. I know there's arguments out there that medicine can help you to stop drinking, but that's not helping It's not doing anything to help the underlying habit, so underneath it all, you're still a drinker. And the majority of people who come to the website, the Alcohol Mastery website, those who post on the site, on YouTube, people that send me emails, are people who are quite capable of handling this habit on their own. They're just normal people. Some of them, the habits got out of control. For most of them, the habits got out of control. But for the most part, they understand that there's something wrong, and by the time that you sort of start understanding that, you get to the, understanding that you've got a problem with alcohol. For the most part, there's still a long way between you understanding that and some serious damage being caused to your body. Your body is absolutely capable of dealing with most toxins, even the most massive toxic burden from constant alcohol use. But there's only so far that your body can go. There's, it's within a certain limitations. And having said that, your body and your mind are going to let you know that something is not right, that there needs to be a change. It's going to provide you with the massive, obvious signposts. It doesn't give you warnings when it's too late. How stupid would that be? Here's your body doing such a great job keeping you alive, but at the same time it's keeping this big, dark secret about all the damage that you're causing with alcohol. That's not the way it works. It lets you know well in advance. Now, whether you come to the conclusion that something is wrong through pains in your body or because you're finding it more difficult to gather your thoughts together, this is your body letting you know that something is wrong a long time before that damage has gotten anywhere near life-threatening. Your body's letting you know that something is wrong while you've still got the chance to do something about it. That's what all pain is about. It's a physical alarm that you'll find very difficult to ignore. If you've got pain, you can't ignore it. Very few people persist with naive drinking past these warning signs. Once you start to get these warnings, it's difficult to go on and create more and more damage and not to do something about it. The fact is that you are listening to me, or people like me, or searching for information. And that's plenty of evidence that, you understand that there's a problem. And by the way, not only am I telling you that you can get rid of this habit, I'm telling you that once you do get alcohol out of your life and you learn some new skills to replace the tool that alcohol has become in your life, you won't recognize the person that you will become or how good you'll feel. I really want to keep harping on about alcohol withdrawal and alcohol withdrawal treatment, because once you do get to the stage where you know something is not right, where you don't want to continue down the same path that you've been going for a long time, there is so much bad information out there, terrible information that can steer you down the wrong road. Now, what I mean by the wrong road is where you're giving up your control and the confidence in your abilities to make the changes. So let's take a look at the meaning of alcohol withdrawal first. Now, I was having a look around the web the other day, and according to the website patient.co.uk, it says if you are alcohol dependent, you have a strong desire to drink alcohol. In addition, your body becomes used to lots of alcohol. Therefore, you may start to develop withdrawal symptoms 3 to 8 hours after your last drink as the effect of the alcohol wears off. So even if you want to stop drinking, it's often difficult because of the withdrawal symptoms. Now, having heard that, can I ask you a question? You've been drinking for a while, right? I have. Oh, I had, I should say. Now, what does that last sentence sound like to you? It says you develop withdrawal symptoms 3 to 8 hours after your last drink as the effect of the alcohol wears off. Now, what normally happens just straight after you've had your last drink? You go to bed, right? So 3 to 8 hours after you go to bed, you probably wake up again. I know that's what I used to do. I'd wake up in the middle of the night feeling like crap, dry mouth, headache, shaking, badly needing to go to the toilet. Now, we generally call that a hangover. Now, the website goes on to say that withdrawal symptoms include feeling sick, having the shakes, sweating, craving for alcohol, and just feeling awful. Now, like I said, that's exactly what a hangover felt like to me anyway. Now, check this out for yourself if you don't believe me. Type the words alcohol withdrawal into Google and see what you come up with. The articles and the videos are mostly describing what we know as a hangover. But when it's called alcohol withdrawal, the same symptoms, the exact same symptoms, become very serious. And the focus is then on the danger and on getting medical treatment. And if you do the same search, the exact same search, typing in the word hangover, you'll get a lot of these manly type posts like how to overcome a hangover, or 11 ways to ease a nasty hangover, 7 natural hangover remedies that work. And the two polar opposite approaches to exactly the same problem. The hangover that you get after a drinking session is a form of alcohol withdrawal. You've become so used to the process of having that hangover that you don't give it a second thought anymore. You don't think about it. You certainly wouldn't go to visit your doctor every time you got a hangover. So why am I telling you this? Because you've been going through alcohol withdrawal for a long time. You've just been calling it by a completely different name. Now, this goes back to the dangers of the language that we use, what I keep talking about. If we call our morning hangover by what it really is, severe alcohol withdrawal, maybe it would cause us to be a lot more concerned than we actually are. But alcohol withdrawal sounds just way too much like something a druggie would do, or something that an alcoholic has. Ugh, I don't know why I do that, but there it is. There's an old saying that goes, you can't polish a turd, but you can roll it around in some glitter. I don't know if you've heard that. Just as a turd is a turd, alcohol withdrawal is alcohol withdrawal. You can roll it around in fairy dust and you can call it a hangover, but it's still alcohol withdrawal. It's still the consequences of alcohol poisoning. Now, this is the type of alcohol withdrawal that you don't seek treatment for, the hangover. Why? Because it's in our perceptions, because we're so used to calling it the hangover. And we tend to, try and sleep off a hangover, or we go out and we eat a big fried plate of food, we take some medication, we go for a hair of the dog. With that in mind, during my worst hangovers, I always found it very difficult to drink more alcohol. So, seeking out more drink while I was in the depths of a hangover wasn't normally on my agenda at all. That was until the pain wore off and the habit kicked back in. And so if you're a drinker, you're already going through some form of regular alcohol withdrawal. It's part of the cycle: drink, intoxication, withdrawal. So how do you know when you need treatment of alcohol withdrawal or not? Now, I'll say it again. If you're worried at all, any shape or form of worry, you should go to your doctor. But over 70% of people who have stopped drinking have never had any form of treatment or help. If you have managed to quit alcohol for more than a few days in the recent past, you are most likely going to fall into this category, the 70%. And you can most likely do this on your own. If, on the other hand, you've not managed to quit alcohol for more than 1 or 2 days, in the recent past again, don't take the risk. At the very least, have a chat with your doctor, or talk. Don't be a hero about this. It's just not worth it. To finish up, your chances of big problems when you quit drinking are minimal. We all go through some form of alcohol withdrawal, no matter what we do. It goes with the territory. For most of us, that withdrawal is going to mean nothing more than a hangover and some minor physical discomfort following you stopping drinking. And for those people, your biggest withdrawal is going to be in your head. Again, I don't like to use words like withdrawal. I mean, the word withdrawal has got way too much negative baggage hanging around to describe what's really going on. For me, the process of quitting drinking is very like a separation or a divorce. You know, when you go through a relationship separation, you need to sort of change a lot of different aspects of your once shared life. As a heavy drinker, the things that you did together, you and the alcohol, you now have to do apart. So it's often the anxiety about making the necessary changes that keeps, relationships, whether it's alcohol or proper relationships, festering into years, when they should have ended sort of a long, long time ago. And the same basic principles also apply with stopping drinking alcohol. Fear, anxiety, insecurity can create lots of physical problems. In some people, those physical problems, which are brought on by the mind, can sort of land them in hospital with the shakes, with massive rapid heartbeats, with panic attacks and so on. You have much greater chance of big problems if you persist in using alcohol. Now, as I've said in the past, and I'll keep repeating, many of the symptoms and side effects of quitting are about mind over matter, mind over body. Stay strong and persist. You need to control your thoughts about what you're experiencing and why you're doing it, why you're going through this whole process. You'll feel much less discomfort if you can do that. If you don't control your thoughts, the chances are your discomfort levels are going to make everything just more severe, and you're going to feel much more severe symptoms. Now, there are very rare cases where the damage that's been done by alcohol consumption is so great that it's extremely necessary to be slowly weaned away from alcohol, and you need to do that under medical supervision. But as I said, this is rare, very rare. And the bottom line is, regardless of your risk, if you're in any doubt, again, seek medical attention. Next, I want to talk about one of the benefits of quitting drinking, which was you'll make better choices. If you'd met me before I stopped drinking, you wouldn't have listened to a word I had to say. It wasn't that I didn't have anything to say. I'm half Irish, so I've always got something to say. It was that I was leading this dual life. Half of my life was the working man who had to provide for his family, someone who did want to get ahead, and a person who genuinely enjoyed living. I genuinely wanted to be the best person I could be. And the other half was this person who didn't like to wait for things to happen. I wanted to get my buzzers right now, not tomorrow. These two lines of thought are completely and mutually exclusive. You cannot be the best person you can be if a part of you craves this daily instant gratification. This want it now side of you is going to drag everything else down to that level. It'll hold you back from all the rewarding possibilities that waiting, working and patience are eventually going to bring. There's a guy called Abraham Maslow. He's an American psychologist who's known for creating what is known as Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And this theory goes along the lines of your mental health is based around fulfilling a series of deep-seated needs, all culminating at the peak of what they call self-actualization. And self-actualization is, in Maslow's words, what a man can be, he must be. This need we may call self-actualization. It refers to the desire for self-fulfillment, namely the tendency for him to become actualized in what he is potentially. In short, a self-actualized person has realistic perceptions about themselves, about others, and just about the wider world around them. They're motivated by a sense of ethics and of personal responsibility. They want to help others. They want to solve problems that are outside of themselves, and they view the world with appreciation, focusing on the things that can be instead of what cannot be. Now for me, one of the best characteristics of Maslow's self-actualized person is a person who is self-determining. So you don't need anyone else to tell you how to live, what to be happy about, or conforming to other people's ideas of contentment. Now much of this boils down to the choices that you make in the moment. As a drug user, alcohol of course is included in that. You can't make the best decisions while you were, one, thinking about using the drug, two, in the process of using the drug, or three, suffering through the inevitable consequences of using that drug. Now I've made some pretty poor choices throughout my life as an alcohol user, most of my life. From getting behind the wheel of my car when I was drunk, to standing on the outside railing of this ferry that was crossing the Irish Sea, drunk as a skunk with only fresh air between me and this cold dark sea 50 feet below. Luckily neither of these past choices have had any long-term consequences in my life. I can't say about most of my past decision making though. Being an alcohol user has definitely infected many important choices that I've made, which have ultimately affected my whole life. There's an Irish saying that the guy was so drunk that he was locked out of his head. Now that's a saying that's a lot closer to the truth than most of us would, care to admit. In a drinking culture, taking into account most of the Western world, alcohol drinkers love to be tipsy, drunk, pissed, or whatever, out of their heads. But we never really stop to think about what's actually happening to us biologically so that our bodies and minds can arrive at that particular feeling. And if you think about it, blurred vision, loss of balance or coordination, difficulty in understanding what someone is saying to you, having trouble speaking, confusion, dizziness, loss of consciousness, they're all very common signs that a person is very, very drunk. They're also among the most common signs that someone is having a stroke. That really tells you something about what's actually going on inside your brain to get you to that feeling of being wasted. On a previous video, I talked about that alcohol is one of the few substances that can pass through the blood-brain barrier. This barrier is there as a simple method of protecting your brain from harm. It prevents most foreign substances, your own hormones and neurotransmitters that don't belong inside in your cranium, and it maintains this constant environment that your brain requires to survive. Now this protection has evolved over millions of years. One foreign toxin that it won't stop is alcohol. And the reason it doesn't stop alcohol is because the blood-brain barrier is not used to the levels of alcohol that are flung at it from alcoholic drinking. Alcohol is used as a very efficient cleaner. It's used as a solvent. It's used as a motor and a rocket fuel. Your brain is the control center of your entire being, and you don't do anything without the messages first passing through your brain. And do you really want something that is used as an industrial cleaner to be washing around inside in this control center? This is the thing that's controlling your whole life. Think about it. It just doesn't make any sense. So the next time you take a drink of alcohol, imagine what the effect is on the delicate electrochemical signaling that's all responsible for all the processing and transmitting every thought that you have from the time you wake up in the morning right around. And we all have bad days, and we all make bad choices. That's just part of living and learning. And the normal process when you make a mistake is to think about it, to try and isolate the reason why it didn't work, why you made the mistake, and to change the choice or some part of the choice the next time around. When we're under the influence of a heavy drug like alcohol, we're often not even aware that a choice has been made. Never mind the processes or the thoughts that went before making that choice. So it's impossible to learn any lessons from it. You can't go back over the thought process to see where you went wrong, because it's generally been absolutely and permanently wiped out of your memory. There's nothing you can do about the choices that you've already made. There's no point in beating yourself up about them either. It's just past is the past. Beating yourself up has probably driven you to use alcohol on more than one occasion. I mean, this only leads to more negativity and more of the same, beating yourself up. So the choices that matter are the ones that you can alter, and the only choices that you can alter are the ones that you make now, that you're about to make, or that you've just made. Once you make the choice not to drink alcohol again, your decisions and your choices are going to become much cleaner. For a start, you don't have any rocket fuel running rampage around your head anymore. Your brain is going to be in that constant, pure environment that it needs for clear, crisp thoughts to happen. And another reason for improved choices is that the choices that you make are often cumulative. One choice can often be the catalyst for a whole series of thoughts. You're more likely to get more of your choices wrong when you're not in complete control of your brain, when you're locked out of your head. You're more likely to make more bad decisions when your brain is bathed in something which is also used as a toxic solvent. When you stop drinking, your choices and your decisions are going to improve because you've better control over your thought processes. When you don't drink alcohol, the only chemicals that are going to be up here in your brain are the ones that are supposed to be there. Because you're not wasting your time drinking and recovering, drinking and recovering, you'll have more time to think things through, leading to better choices, which will in turn lead to more better choices. So, thanks a lot for watching Stop Drinking Alcohol 82. Now, as normal, just so you can access these videos a lot easier, both on YouTube and on the Alcohol Mastery website, I'll be uploading the sections separately so you can check out the following videos. Just give it a couple of days, but the first video on alcohol withdrawal treatment can be found here, and the second video on you being able to make better choices in your life can be found by clicking just here. And next week on Stop Drinking Alcohol, I'll be answering the question, is alcoholism a disease or a choice? I'm also going to be talking about you not being alone in your not drinking. In fact, you're in the majority. And I'm going to look into a news story I came across just about drug dealers being executed. It was just an interesting take on this side of just looking at things. So to finish up, I want to leave you with this. There's an old saying that says, sometimes the wrong choices bring us to the right places. Now, as I said earlier, there's never any point in beating yourself up about the choices that you've made in the past. A choice is almost never bad at the time. It's only in retrospect, when you're looking back, that we tend to look at choices as being bad. And we all have perfect vision when we're looking backwards. It's easy to sort of criticize ourselves. But that criticism ultimately just comes right back and lands on your own shoulders. If I wasn't a drinker, I would have never met the mother and married the mother of my son Sean, and Sean wouldn't be alive. I'd never have met Esther, my partner. Being a drinker, or at least stopping being a drinker, has allowed me to see and to understand parts about myself that could have remained a complete mystery to me. I've become a part of something here on Alcohol Mastery, which has enriched my life in so many ways. It can only ever matter what you do now. The choices you make now are the only ones that count, and the only ones you can make. So don't beat yourself up about it. If you found anything of value in this video, if you got something out of the video, could you please take the time to subscribe, share or like using the buttons down below. This means a lot to making the content more widely available to other people who are, having the same difficulties that you are having trouble finding the answers. If you've got any questions that you want to ask me on YouTube or here, you can ask me on YouTube. You can go over to Alcohol Mastery website, you can ask me on the Facebook page, or just send me an email to kevin@alcoholmastery.com. You can also find me on alcoholbooks.com. So thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm Kevin O'Hara for Alcohol Mastery. Onwards and upwards.